So finally got my hands on the Meteor 65 Pro with the 04 air unit. Took a couple of weeks to get here, but really excited to try this out. Today we're going to be doing an indoor flight test, and this time it's going to be inside my office, which is a pretty enclosed and tight space. I think if you're looking to purchase this drone, you're probably looking to fly it inside, and you might be wondering, is it capable of racing, is it capable of some freestyle, and how it compares to other drones in its size. I have a full comprehensive review coming out soon which explores all those questions, but for now I just wanted to kind of share my initial thoughts of this maiden flight and just see how it flies off the bat. So as soon as you take off, you'll notice that this thing is really heavy. So when you let off the throttle, you have to compensate a lot to be able to hold altitude, otherwise you're definitely hitting the ground. You know, there's times where I overshoot my turns just because of that extra weight, where in a analog drone I can usually catch it pretty easily just because of how light it is. So honestly, for what it is, and I really hate to say this because I was so excited for this drone, but it does feel very underpowered and could use with a lot of weight reduction mods, which I'll probably look into. So right now, if you look in the bottom right hand side of the screen where my flight modes are, you can see that it's flipping between air and horizon mode. And I found that this happens whenever you crash, even if it's a light crash or even a hard crash. You know, it sometimes will get into this state where the flight modes flip from air to horizon, and so when you're flying it, it's basically stuck in horizon mode. And to fix this, I found you just had to land and let the drone sit for a little bit before arming again, and when you arm it should go back to air mode. I also found that a lot of the time when you crash, your propellers come off, and that could just be an issue with the propellers, but with the stock propellers that it came with, yeah, every time it crashed I'd have to look for my propellers somewhere on the floor, which is a pretty big problem because, you know, whenever you take off and crash, you want to be able to take off again without having to pick up your drone, especially if you have to turtle mode out of somewhere that's not easily accessible. It kind of takes away from the experience, in my opinion. Another issue that I ran into is the batteries that I use tends to drain pretty quickly with this drone. I'm using the 300 milliamp hour lava batteries, and there's times where I have a full charge, and after taking off, crashing once or twice, taking off again, it's already telling me to land. You know, you can kind of see for yourself. Just pay attention to the battery voltage in this footage. And I think that just goes back to, you know, the extra weight that the drone is having to push. So it's needing to pull a lot more power than if it was a regular analog tiny whoop. It's not all bad though. You know, this is paired with the 04 lights, and as you can see, the image quality is pretty impressive. This is filmed at night and there's not a lot of light source. You know, I just have my race gate, which isn't that bright, but you can see pretty clearly on the video, which is a pretty big step up from its analog counterparts. I do think that even though it's pretty heavy, I feel like if you wanted to, you can get used to how it flies. It's just going to take a lot more throttle than you're used to with previous builds. You know, I'm sure you can also tune it the way you'd like and have it locked in for your style of flying. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now. Keep an eye out for my full review, and I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, the propellers come off so easy. I think that's my biggest issue with this.